What's up, guys? So I've been working on a guide to beat Yang since I was able to get the beat Yang at 25 or under achievement, which took some practice. First time I beat him, I was H79, and that was after many attempts. I know there's guides out there, but I just couldn't get good results using them. The main reason is because I'm just not able to react fast enough that I can use some of the strategies they suggest. So this guide is meant for people like me, beginner level players who might have some trouble with certain attacks that might feel a tad too fast to react to. Now, I will say that this method does require some practice and assumes that you're familiar with this moveset to some degree or that you're willing to learn some of his patterns for optimal results. When it comes to Yang, there's just no way around learning his patterns, at least partially. Okay, so we're going to go over the method and then we're going to watch the fight and then I'll kind of tie those in together. So the method is simple, actually, which I think is why it works well. What I'm trying to do is every time that he attacks, there's combos, right? And so at the end of the combo, I'm trying to punish as much as I can with heavies so I can get a super dizzy. And if you're not aware or if you're not familiar with the terminology, there's the dizzy, which is a lighter form of stagger, and then the super dizzy, which is the heavier form of stagger. And for Yang, he won't let you grab and throw him like regular enemies do, like at the end of right after a hit. If you dodge that whiff and then you can just throw him right away. With Yang, he'll break your grab, and the same with the regular dizzy. So you have to get a super dizzy, and we're going to get a lot of damage in once we trigger that. But before that, it's going to be mainly just trying to get as many heavies. And it's also frustrating because with Yang, he won't attack. He'll attack a couple times or maybe once in the beginning and then kind of jump back out of reach. So sometimes you just have to kind of attack him first, and then usually if you attack him first, he has this claw attack that's like a low to high. It's like a rising claw, and it's really fast, and it does a lot of damage if it connects. But if you know what you're doing, you can just trigger that attack and then dodge it immediately, and at the end you can go for the punish, right? So that's one thing. And then another thing to be mindful of is in every phase he's got an attack where it does a lot of damage, and they're usually they have that fire sort of visual effect to them. And it's for the first phase is that the sweeps. If you fought him before, you're probably familiar with. So the sweeps in phase 1, he usually will he'll jump back a ways and do the sweep in phase 1, and in phase 2 it's like a 3-punch combo that does tons of damage. The sweep does a lot of damage, but the punch combo does massive damage. If all 3 hits connect, that's most of your health bar. So they can definitely ruin your run if either of them connect, because they put you in a really precarious situation. But yeah, so let's go take a look at the fight now that we've kind of established what the basics are, and then I'll kind of comment on it a little bit. All right, so here's what we're saying. In the beginning, he's really evasive. So this is what I said. This is the rising claw. I attacked first, and he did that. That's usually going to be the case. And so here's the thing. So every time that I hit him, it's heavies. And he took a jump. He jumped back and did that sweep, which is that high damage that I was telling you guys about. And so every time he jumps back a ways, you have to kind of expect that that's coming. And sometimes he won't do it, but you just kind of assume that he's always going to do it so that you're prepared for it. So it's heavies. Oh no, and then I got the super dizzy right there. So I'm getting a lot of damage there. I threw him a couple times. First with the chasing punches, and then threw him against that piece of furniture. Now, the reason that I want to do all these heavies is I want to keep hitting him until he parries me, because usually right after the parry, he'll do another one of these attacks that you can punish. And if you're lucky, you'll just chain those and do a lot of damage. And so this is another combo that once you do this enough, you'll kind of know what's coming. And so there's one variation where he takes the step back and does the sweep. And there's another variation where he takes the step back and comes back and does the sort of flurry of attacks. And this is another thing that's important. Don't your biggest enemy in this fight is the camera, because you have to be able to reach Sean. You have to be able to see his whole body. And if you can't, so that's why I was in the corner and I just immediately ran back to the middle of the arena, because you don't want to be stuck in a corner where you can't see what he's doing, because then he'll get a lot of damage in. And the Super Dizzy also has this audio cue, which is kind of like glass breaking. But it's really subtle, so it's easy to miss, especially because the music kind of builds up. It's the tension, and it gets louder. So so when he does this, never attack, because he's always going to hit you. I forget what that's called, but yeah. So here he comes. He does the jump back. And now this triple punch attack, you have to dodge really fast. So just guard and then down 3 times as fast as you possibly can, and you're going to be able to dodge it, because if you do it even a tad slower, he's going to connect the last hit, and that's the one that does the most damage. So he started doing these sweeps, which are difficult for me because they come out so fast, but once he starts doing them, he kind of spams them, so they become a little bit easier to read and expect. And yeah, so this, where he bounces off the wall, is pretty easy to dodge. That kick is a good punish for heavies. That is the best punish for heavies right there, that rising claw. Yeah, again, just following the same. Yeah, okay, so this is good. And we're just being patient, even though in phase 2 he becomes much more aggressive. Oh, so I got my Super Dizzy. I get 2 grabs, one of them chasing strikes, and then the other one chasing trip kick. And then I actually do something that I should have, that I told you guys not to do, but it was because I was getting so close to beating him, and I knew that I could, it was just a matter of getting a couple hits. So here, I'm too close to the wall, too close for comfort, and then I should have just ran. So right here, so luckily there's some transparency, but right here, I can't see his bottom half, or at least in that moment. And so what I should have done is just gone back to the middle of the arena, but it was just a matter of getting either some posture or structure damage. But yeah, that's the fight. And I hope you guys found this useful. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you have any more suggestions or any better ways that this could be improved. And I'll see you guys on the next one.